Okay, folks, I'm coming to you virtually today. It is Monday, May 10th, and second and third period, your class is canceled. So this is your class. Like, don't just check out. We have class. Welcome. We do still have some check-in schedules. I'm going to let you watch your moment of awesome on your own. Reminders, June 3rd is our drop dead due date. But this is our last unit. Yay! So keep that in mind. When you're looking at Skyward, make sure that you are looking at the T3 grade. If you are someone who is like, oh crap, how do I make up the most points possible? This slide is for you. You can do it. Just prioritize your assignments. All right, now here's our context clues lesson for today. So context clues is when you look at a sentence and you're like, I don't know what that word means at all. There are hints in the text that help you discover the meaning of that word. And there's 4 different types of context clues that we're going to look at. No, I don't think you have to like totally memorize these, but it is helpful to know that the author has put clues in here for you. So one of them is further information. Then we have an antonym, a synonym, and a definition. So these are the types of context clues that authors and writers, they'll put in. So let's look at some examples of those. So further information. That's when, the ideas in the sentence help explain. I don't know why I'm burping. I'm only drinking coffee. The ideas in the sentence help explain the word. So we're going to take this word cavalier. Their cavalier attitude led them to make risky choices. So we get a little bit more information about they were if the sentence just read they were cavalier, you don't know what that means. But because it continues, it still gives you a little bit more of that meaning. So their cavalier attitude led them to make risky choices. Well, what type of attitude or behavior would lead you to make risky choices? Probably like proud and arrogant choices, which is kind of like the meaning of cavalier. Another type of context clue is an antonym. So that is when the opposite meaning of the word helps explain the word. Let's look at this example. While actually disliked, he was sure he was adored. So the underlined word is adored. How do we know the meaning of adored? We get a clue in here. He was actually disliked. And because of this sentence structure, while is a transition word that tells us that something different is happening. So the opposite of disliked is adored. What's the opposite of disliked? To be liked, to be loved. Everybody wants to be adored, whether or not you know what that word means, but now you do. Other types, we have a synonym. So that's when the similar meaning of a word helps explain the word. The entourage behaved as bodyguards normally do. So we have this word entourage, and you might not know what an entourage is, so we're looking in the sentence for a clue. And they behaved as bodyguards. So this is, what do bodyguards do? They like go around the person they're protecting, and it's a group of people. So that's also what an entourage is like, except they're not like Secret Service talking into their sleeve. They're more like a group of friends. I'm sure you've had this experience when you've wanted to talk to somebody, but they have a group of friends around them, and you're like, oh, I can't talk to them because they're being blocked by their entourage. See? We're learning new words. And the last one we'll look at in context clues is the definition. So sometimes the definition is already in the sentence. The subordinate or worker felt ignored. You could even extend this out to the subordinate or worker felt ignored by his boss. So the word subordinate is another word for worker. If you break it down with the root words, sub is underneath. So the worker who's underneath somebody else is feeling ignored. Well, that happens a lot in work, unfortunately. So these are the types of context clues. So I just broke them down. I want to practice this And then you're going to go and take the 5-4 quiz, okay? So let's try a few. I was so moozled from the day's busy activities that I fell asleep 2 hours before my bedtime. Okay, so we're looking for the word moozled. What does the word moozled mean? Like, what is the real word, or like another word that means moozled? And how do we know what type of context clue? I see moozled, and then I see the day's busy activities. So we have further information in here. And how do you feel after a day of busy activities? You feel tired. Okay, if it still isn't clicking, hang with me. Here's some more. I didn't need you to severely me. I can save myself. This is a huge word. Okay. Oh, I clicked on it too soon. Sorry, my bad. This word, severely, we're seeing save myself. We're seeing that the further meaning comes up, that synonym to save myself is like that word severely. It's not a word you're going to use all the time, but that is a good example of how you can use a synonym. Okay. Our next one. I was hoping to do well on the test, but I didn't study, and now I have a caribou grade. Caribou is, like a reindeer. But he was hoping to do well. He did not study. So now what happens? You can kind of infer that it would be a bad grade because he was hoping to do well, but now I have a caribou, a bad grade. So that's our antonym. And let's look at that one more. The metox, or sleuth, was able to solve the crime. So we have the word metox, and that's like, I'm saying these are words that I do not see regularly in my reading. So how do I decipher them? This isn't just a you thing. How do we all decipher them? We look to say the sleuth. Now, you might not know what that sleuth word is either. That's like a detective, somebody who's been hired to solve a crime. And then he was able to solve the crime. So the meaning of the word is, excuse me, sleuth or detective. That could be another word. And the type of clue we have is definition. So this might be a good page to save and have up while you're taking your quiz. Popping back a couple pages when I have the other definitions. This might be helpful to you too. This is not cheating, it's using your resources, especially because you can keep retaking it. So if you don't get a super great grade, I'm talking a 16. If you're not at least getting a 16, you need to retake it again because the 16 is the B, and I want you guys in the A's and B's range, okay? Before we go, I will leave you with this really good pun, bad pun. Did you hear about the two guys who stole a calendar? They each got 6 months. Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda? He was lucky it was a soft drink. Okay, so now go take 5-4 and peace be with you. Take care of yourself. I mean, you can email Mr. Hirschman. You can also email me. So take the 5-4 quiz. Email me if there's issues, and have a beautiful day.